Your life changes the day you make one simple mistake. You're 11 years old. It's lunch break at school and one of your friends asks if he can borrow your phone because his battery died. No big deal, right? So, you hand it over. 30 seconds later, his eyes get wide. Then he starts laughing. Then 3 other kids gather around the screen, and suddenly everyone is looking at you. You don't understand what's happening until one of them says a sentence you'll never forget. Bro, is this your mom? At that moment, your stomach drops. Because for years, you've believed your mom worked from home doing social media marketing, but now you're staring at a screen that tells a very different story. And from that day forward, life becomes a lot more complicated. You were actually pretty happy growing up. Your family wasn't rich at first. You lived in a small apartment. The furniture didn't match. The air conditioner made strange noises. And sometimes dinner was whatever happened to be on sale that week. Then things started changing. Fast. Packages showed up almost every day. Huge boxes, lights, cameras, microphones, furniture that looked expensive enough to require its own security guard. At first you thought your mom had become some kind of celebrity. You just didn't know what kind. Then came the upgrades. The bigger house, the nicer car, the expensive vacations, the newest phone every year. Meanwhile, your friends were saving allowance money for video games, while you somehow had the latest everything. At the time, you thought you had won the family lottery. You hadn't realized there would be a price attached. By middle school, the whispers begin. Kids are brutal. They're basically tiny FBI agents with unlimited free time. Soon people know things about your family that you never told them. Teachers act weird. Parents act weirder. Some people suddenly become extra friendly. Others avoid you completely. And you start realizing that your mother's online life isn't staying online. It's following you everywhere. The worst part isn't the jokes, it's the feeling of never knowing who knows. Imagine walking into every room wondering if someone has already searched your family on the internet. That's what it feels like. One day you're sitting at a football game. Everything is normal. You're talking to a girl you really like. Things are going surprisingly well. Then her father walks over. He notices your last name. His face changes instantly. Not angry, not shocked. Just awkward. The conversation ends 10 seconds later. You never hear from that girl again, and that becomes a pattern. You start learning that your family's reputation arrives before you do. By age 15, you've developed survival skills. Not useful skills. Internet survival skills. You create backup social media accounts. You lock everything private. You stop posting photos. You stop tagging locations. You become a digital ninja. Meanwhile, your mom's popularity keeps growing. Millions of followers. More money. More attention. More exposure. And that's when you start noticing something else. She's changing too. At first she seemed happy. Now she seems tired. She's always checking notifications, always responding to messages, always worried about numbers, views, likes, subscribers, engagement. The phone never leaves her hand, not during breakfast, not during dinner, not even during family vacations. It's like she's working all the time, except nobody can tell where work ends and life begins. One afternoon you're shopping together. A stranger approaches. He's nervous. Way too nervous. He knows your mom's online name. He knows details about her life. He talks like they're close friends. But they've never actually met. For the first time, you see fear in your mother's eyes, and suddenly the internet doesn't seem fun anymore. Because now it's standing 3 feet away in a grocery store. That's the day you realize attention isn't always a good thing. Sometimes attention becomes a cage. By the time you're ready for college, your mom offers to pay for everything. Tuition, housing, food, books, the whole package. Most people would celebrate. But you hesitate. Not because you hate her, because you want something that's yours. For once. So, you move far away. A place where nobody knows your family. Nobody recognizes your last name. Nobody asks weird questions. For the first time in years, you're just another student. And honestly, it's amazing. You get a boring part-time job. You eat cheap noodles. You stress about exams, you complain about laundry. Normal life has never felt so luxurious. Then one night, something strange happens. A roommate asks about your family. You almost tell him the truth, but you stop yourself. Because explaining your life sounds ridiculous. How do you explain that growing up wealthy sometimes felt lonelier than growing up broke? How do you explain that privacy became more valuable than money? Most people wouldn't understand, and honestly, that's okay. Years pass, you graduate, you build a career. Nothing glamorous, no viral videos, no luxury mansions. Just a regular job, a regular apartment, a regular life. And that's exactly what makes it special. One day you're walking through a park. You see a young kid holding a phone while his mom records content for social media. The kid looks bored. The mom keeps asking for another take. And another. And another. You watch them for a moment, and suddenly you're looking at your own childhood. Different platform, different creator, same story. A child standing behind the camera while the adults chase attention. That's when something finally clicks. The real problem was never your mom's career. The real problem was identity. For years, everyone saw you as someone's son, someone's content, someone's backstory. But eventually you learned something important. Your parents can shape your life. They don't have to define it. And that realization changes everything. No matter where you come from, every person reaches a point where they have to decide who they want to be. Maybe your family is famous. Maybe they're not. Maybe you've spent years carrying labels that were handed to you by other people. But eventually you get to write your own story. And that's exactly what our character did. He stopped living in someone else's spotlight and started building his own life. And honestly, that's a lesson all of us can learn from. If you enjoyed this Your Life as story and want more videos that explore unusual lives, difficult choices, and lessons about personal growth, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Because sometimes the biggest self-improvement lesson isn't becoming someone new, it's finally becoming yourself. Thanks for watching.